Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Delhi One Toastmasters. Welcome to meeting number 325th. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Let me show online meeting statement. By attending this remote area division or district speed contest or event, you agree to the privacy policy of Toastmasters International as well as the unassociated remote hosting service. Some of your personal information such as name, image, and any shared messages may be shared with other meeting participants and will be recorded by Toastmaster International, who may use the recording in the future as it sees fit. Your remote attendance hereby discharges Toastmaster International from all claims, demands, rights, promises, damages, and liabilities arising out of or in connection with the use or distribution of said video recordings, including but not limited to any claims for invasion of privacy, appropriation of likeness, or defamation. Let me share rules of meeting. Be always on mute except role players and speakers when it's your turn to speak. At all other occasions, use the raise hand option if you want to make a point. Concerned speaker will do the required as appropriate. Please ask only Tech Master if you're audible or visible or not. Chat option is available with open. Avoid messaging in between to avoid distractions. Do not share screen in between to avoid any distraction. Only timer can share the screen or respected speaker or role players. For any doubt, you can ask the Tech Master, and Tech Master is me, Sergeant Arms Kartik Mishra. All right. Let me introduce the president of Delhi One Toastmasters, Distinct Toastmaster Roli Sinha. Roli has joined in.
Kartik, I think she has not joined yet, as yet.
Let me welcome the acting president. Oh, wait, Roli just joined in on right time. Roli is disconnected. Let me introduce acting president of today's meeting, Toastmaster Devashish Pandey.
Thank you, Sergeant and Arms Toastmaster Kartik Mishra. So who all are the guests for today? I think Toastmaster Shatakshi, Toastmaster Raj Mehta, Distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta, who has been regularly attending our meetings. So Toastmaster Shatakshi, can you please unmute yourself and give a brief introduction about yourself?
Okay, so hello everyone, good evening. I have been joining this very meeting after a long gap. I was busy somewhere. So yeah, I'm still entering as a guest. I haven't took the membership yet. Regarding me, I am Shatakshi Mishra and I am completing my PhD, pursuing my PhD as a research scholar from Indian Agriculture Research Institute, New Delhi. And I'm from Rewa, Madhya Pradesh. And yeah, I was looking forward to improve my speaking skills as this is something I'm really passionate about. And I'm currently serving as a literary secretary for my institute. So yeah, I was just willing to brush up my skills. And so here I am. Thank you.
Thank you, Shatakshi. Hope you will be joining us in the near future because we actually look forward to the people who are actually interested in public speaking and leadership. You already look good, so you will be inspiring also to all the other members who are actually in the Toastmasters right now. And also we would be looking forward to developing you towards your aim and so that, you know, in your near future, you can achieve all the goals that you have set for yourself. So DTM Raj Mehta needs no introduction, but still we would like to know something about yourself. can you please introduce yourself and to the guests who have joined recently, and also what you are expecting from this meeting today?
Hello everyone, I'm Raj Mehta. I have been a Toastmaster since last 10 years, more than 10 years. And during this journey, I learned a lot. And I think that this Toastmaster is the best platform for learning communication and leadership. If I talk about my experience, there was a time when I was not able to speak or utter even a single word when I would go on stage. But today, I think I'm able to say something, or I'm able to express my feelings, what I think, what I do, and what I do. And of course, I expect a practice session for evaluation. And I have been attending this type of mock contests in other clubs as well, just to do more and more practice. Because in our club, we do not do the evaluation which other clubs do. We basically we take evaluation from all the members in the audience, so you get very limited time for evaluating the speakers. Okay. And that's why I just thought that I should attend such sessions, and so that I would be able to do some practice of doing the evaluation as per the guidelines of Toastmasters International. Thank you very much.
Thank you, DTM. To introduce DTM Raj Mehta, he has been regularly attending our meetings and also winning several awards, also several certificates also. He is not, he has been actually very inspiring to other members, and we look forward to learning a lot from you, as you are very experienced. 10 years is the most, now Rolly is the second most experienced in the club right now in the meeting. You are the most experienced one over here. So next is DTM Rupinder Singh. So if you're available, sir, welcome to the meeting for the mock evaluation. So for the benefits of our guests and the members, can you please introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Rupinder. I'm from Professional Speakers, and I came here just so that I could meet Rolly. It's been a long time.
So, okay, so over to you, Rolly. So I think you would be able to take charge from now.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Devashish, for holding the fort while I could not join. I welcome every one of you to this evaluation module and a practice session to try out your evaluation skills on a particular speech that will be delivered. It will be an online speech so that everyone gets a fair chance. And I hope that everyone will listen very carefully to distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh, who is actually the real second in command at the moment, if we have to go by years of experience in Toastmasters. And I don't think that even if I spent another 10 years, I would come even close to what he is already. So thank you so much for being here today for us, making sure that our members get a chance to learn what evaluation is all about, how it enables our speakers to take their speeches to the next level in their future speeches, and it improves our analytical and observational skills as well when we serve as evaluators. The contests, in my opinion, are just another mechanism to elevate our skills, but they are not the reason why we learn how to evaluate. I think it has a greater impact in our personal lives as well, as we try to enhance our skills to communicate even the improvement areas to our family, friends, and colleagues, so that they get the right message and do not get offended, and they get the encouragement to try out further. So without further ado, I am going to welcome on stage Distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh to conduct the evaluation module. Distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh, for anyone in District 41, really needs no introduction, but I do feel compelled to say that every single word that he will tell you will be a gem and must be treasured, must be adhered to. These kind of tips and tricks that he will be able to share with us today are are a result of years and years of experience. And the way he evaluates speeches, he evaluates people's speeches is a treat to watch. So today we learn from the best. Let us welcome, with a huge round of applause, distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh to the stage, your module master for today.
Feedback for self, learn to mute and unmute responsibly. Thank you, Rolly, for that very generous introduction. And I think you will not need 10 years. Perhaps I'll need 10 years to reach a level that you're at. Having said that, let's get rolling with the presentation. I hope I have the permission to share screen. No, I do not. Host, can you please enable screen sharing so that we can begin with my module?
Yes, allowed.
Thank you very much. Yes, I confirm that it is allowed. So do you see a screen that says that this presentation has 15 slides, give or take? I like to start by saying that a presentation has these many slides because people tend to get bored by looking at the number of slides. So I tell it upfront that this is going to be 15 slides of torture or enjoyment, how you look at it. So typically, when I go about giving sessions, I believe that there are three types of feedback that people give. So for a start, people say, what a wonderful session. This usually happens when I go and ask people, how did you like my session? And to my face, they'll say, what a wonderful session. Amazing, awesome, lovely. I wish I could be like you. Or as some people say, that it'll take me 10 years to reach your level. Okay, I'm kidding. Then the second type of feedback is, what was that? And this usually happens when I've kind of moved out of earshot of people. I catch some of those earshots. So people ask themselves, okay, what was that? What did I just go through? And then when I'm totally out of the earshot, that was horrible. And that is what people tell each other. Regardless, you've got three reactions over here. What a wonderful session. People asking, what was that? And then that was horrible. My question to everyone is, what do you think these are? And those of you who've attended my session, I request silence because I know you have the answer. But what do you think these are? Anyone?
These are the feedbacks received by you from different types of people.
That was horrible is not a feedback that I've ever received, but
these are things we should not say.
Okay, I'll give you a hint. It starts with O. These are examples of an, come on, DOTMers. What a wonderful session is an
exclamation.
You like it, you do not like it. It's an opinion.
It's an opinion.
It's an opinion. Okay. And you know what is the best thing about an opinion? The best thing about an opinion is that everyone has them. Even a newborn baby has an opinion, which they express by crying out loud or by smiling at you. Dogs and cats have opinions. Every animals have opinions. Every time they are exposed to a stimuli, they express their opinion. They react. You go to Facebook, you'll see 850 million opinions and counting. So everyone has opinions. We all agree on that. Some of us have judgments also, but at a basic level, everyone has an opinion. You'll see a green colored bottle in my hand and you'll start wondering whether this is beer or whether this is Sprite. And I will tell you that this is water in a bottle of Sprite. So The moment you saw a bottle in my hand, you started forming opinions. Now, opinions, when you channel them properly, they have the potential to become effective evaluations. But this happens when and only when opinions are properly channeled. Now, if you're taking notes, don't take notes. I will share the PDF of this presentation with you. Just listen very carefully. Okay, so question is, how do we channel our opinions? And what makes evaluation effective? What are the parameters? Now, if you're a Toastmaster worth your salt, then you will recognize this statement. Can anyone tell me what this is?
Meeting statement.
Our mission statement.
Karthik, I am very proud of you, at least as a sergeant at arms, you recognize this. I've been a sergeant at arms three or four times, and I would have been very disappointed if you did not recognize the statement. Yes, this is the club mission statement of every Toastmasters club around the world. Now, in here, you will find two words which I have highlighted for you: supportive and positive. And that is what feedback should look like: supportive or positive. Now, before I move ahead, I have one more question for you. What is the key word in evaluation?
Supportive.
It's in evaluation. What is the key word in evaluation?
Valuation or value.
You got it right the second time. The key word in evaluation is value. Many times we got scolded at school, we got yelled at by our bosses, and we got screamed at by our parents. And almost as many times we resorted to doing the same thing over and over again. For example, my parents always told me that when I tie my turban should not touch the ground. And I used to get yelled at for that. But guess what? My turban still touches the ground. The point is that when people do not give you value in feedback, you are less willing to incorporate that feedback in your routine. My argument is that where I tie my turban, the floor is clean. So unless and until you tell me that the floor is not clean, I will not stop doing what you're asking me to do. The same thing goes for a child getting scolded at school by their teacher. The teacher will tell them to hold the pen in a proper manner. Now, some of us being left-handed hold it in a different manner. Unless and until you do not drive the value, it is not going to have effect. Your boss will yell at you saying that your work or your report or whatever you submitted is not meeting the quality standards. But until and unless they do not tell you what exactly it is, it is not going to result in a behavior change. I'm getting ahead of myself, but there are two types of feedback. I call them positive and supportive. You know them as commendations and recommendations. Sometimes we call them positive and negative. I do not like using the word negative. Sometimes we say positive and encouraging. My question to you is, what is the relation between both positive, supportive feedback and value? Anyone? When you give positive feedback, what is the relation with value?
When positive feedback is given, it should also add value to the speaker, so that if whatever he has already spoken well, or what is the positive part, he can also improve, or actually improve over it, so you can it can be made better.
Great. Devashish, let's just step out of Toastmasters for a while. Let's just imagine that we are in a non-Toastmasters environment. You are getting commended for somebody. For example, I might go to Rolly's house and she makes excellent coffee, and I'll say, Rolly, excellent coffee. Okay. So the fact that I commended Rolly for her coffee means that I valued her for the coffee that she makes. And she does make excellent coffee, by the way. So when we give positive feedback, then we are telling the speaker or the person who's giving us a service as to what value did we receive as a recipient or a listener. And when we are giving supportive feedback, we are telling the listener or the recipient or the recipient that what value can we provide as a speaker, as a listener, or as a recipient of that information. Okay. Now, here is the fun part. A lot of us get even positive feedback wrong. Forget about supportive feedback. How many times have you worked on something for so long, put in weekends, put in extra hours, gone the extra mile, only for your boss to turn around and say, I don't like this. Just 4 words. That's it. I don't like this. I don't like this. That's it. It makes you feel frustrated. It makes you feel angry. But if you look at it from the perspective of the boss doesn't know the kind of effort that went in. And that is when you're expecting supportive feedback. Forget supportive for now. We do not even know how to give positive feedback properly. Why? Let's say that you were to come to Delhi, or maybe you are in Delhi, or you were to come to somewhere around my area, and you were to ask me, okay, tell me a good place to eat. Now, I could tell you that a good place to eat around my place is a South Indian restaurant called Juggernaut. Okay. Would you go there just because I said Juggernaut? Would you go there? Yes or no? If you know me well, you'll probably go there. Okay, Rupinder is a great guy. He, when it comes to food, Rupinder is not wrong. You will go there. But supposing you don't know me, supposing you're meeting me for the 4th or the 5th time and you don't know me well, you just happen to be in my area. You just asked me what's a good place to eat. And I said, go to Juggernaut. How impressed are you right now? Or how willing are you to go to Juggernaut? Just because I said it. Chances are few. Why? Because I just stated an opinion. That's it. I just stated an opinion. Okay. And because I stated an opinion, what does it mean? It's just that. It's just my opinion. I just said go to Juggernaut. Now, what if I told you go to Juggernaut and try their crispy rava masala dosa? Are you interested now? Why? Because now what I've done is that I have substantiated my opinion with an example. Okay. Now, if you are a lover of crispy rava masala dosa, you're definitely interested. If you're not, you will ask me the question, okay, apart from that, what else can I have? And then I can give you more answers. But the point is that your engagement levels are going to rise the moment I give you an example. When I tried a feedback exercise, 70% of people stopped at opinion. Out of around 50 or so people that I asked, 35 stopped at opinion. They did not go to exam. Around 40% went to example. The one thing that we miss from our positive feedback is the impact. Now, what if I was to say that go to Juggernaut, try the crispy rava masala dosa. Believe me, next time you are going to take your family there. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. Now I'm giving you the impact. Now I'm giving you the complete picture for a commendation. And that's how commendation should be given. Only 10% of people actually go to impact. Now let's translate that into a Toastmasters evaluation. Rolly, you have excellent vocabulary. Observation. Rolly, I particularly like the word that you used, a particular word that you used, and that word is whatever that word was. Example. It made me realize that I can use that word in so many different contexts. Impact. When you are giving positive feedback, these three have to be a part of your positive feedback: opinion, example, and impact. Now, when it comes to supportive feedback, once again, like I said, everyone has an opinion. Facebook, 850 plus million opinions and counting. Everyone has them. The challenge here is that, let me again take the example of Rolly, and let me assume that she is unfortunate enough to have me reporting into her. Now, my reporting time in office is 10 o'clock. And I'm coming in at 10:10. Sometimes I come in at 10:15. There was a day when I came in at 9:50. And then today I came in at 10:45. So Rolly decides to take things in her own hands, and she says to me, Rupinder, you are always late. What is the one word that is going to upset this conversation in that statement?
Always.
Always. Why? Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to catch on to the example of that one time when I was on time, and I'm going to answer back with Rolly. On this day, I came in at 9:50. Nobody was here. You were not here. Raj was not here. Shatakshi was not here. Devashish, well, he was on leave. You don't say anything to them. You say everything to me. And in that one statement, just because Rolly gave an opinion, I have inverted the opinion on Rolly. And that is how conversations, they go sideways. Now, instead of saying that you're always late, what if Rolly opens with, Rupinder, I find that you have a challenge with coming to office on time. Next thing that she's supposed to give me is the same thing as you give in the positive feedback, and that is examples. Today you came in at 10:45. Yesterday you came in at 10:20. The day before yesterday you were at 9:50. Thank you very much for that. I wish you could do that more. And on Monday you came in at 10:10. Example, data. I cannot refute that, right? Any opposition that I have towards Rolly, or any explanation that I have, starts to evaporate the moment she starts confronting me with data, with examples. Then comes the third step, which is impact. Now, impact not in terms of the impact on me, the person who's coming in late, but the impact on Rolly. Rupinder, because you come in late, I have to explain to other people where you are. And that takes away a lot of my time which I think can be invested in more useful things. such as not explaining where Rupinder is. Okay. Now, again, I collated data of around 50 evaluations, and this was in 2017. 90% of the people stop at opinion. 50% gave examples. 20% spoke about impact. And less than 5% people, less than 5%, which is about 2 of them, gave the most important part of a supportive feedback, and that is the way forward. How does the person improve? No one, very few people speak about that. I will not say no one, but very few people go to that level. Now, let's look at it in the light of feedback in Toastmasters. Okay. Rupinder, you have excellent vocal variety. I think your body language needs some work. Okay. You stated your opinion. For example, when you were talking about the father, I wanted to see some facial expressions at that time. Example. Facial expressions will enhance the value of your speech by as much as 50% impact. Here is a way that you can work with facial expressions, and then you give examples about ways about facial expressions. You've given Rupinder a way forward. Now, Rupinder might not be able to work with that way forward, but at least Rupinder has a direction now. He knows where he has to go with it. So when you are giving positive feedback, you have to give an opinion. You have to support that opinion with an example, and you have to solidify it with an impact. This is what I'm taking away from what you did. And when you're being supportive, again, give your opinion, support it with examples. I saw that the light at the back of your camera is coming in the way of your facial expressions. Opinion. Because it is at your back, it is making your face appear darker. Example. As a result, I am not able to see your facial expressions clearly. If you have the light on your face at a 45-degree angle, it will allow us to see your expressions more clearly. The way forward. Okay. A lot of technical stuff. What I'll suggest to you is start working with the commendations first, and then work your way into the recommendations, the positive feedback, and then the supportive feedback. Start getting the positive feedback right first. Okay. Try getting the positive feedback right for about 21 days. Apparently, habits form after 21 days. Simultaneously, somewhere around the 10th day, start working on your supportive feedback as well. Within a month, you will see a change in the way that you give feedback. Now, when it comes to Toastmasters evaluations, or when it comes to evaluations in the evaluation speech contest, what is the way that you go about it? Well, what I do is that I divide my page into 4 quadrants. Okay, I divide my page into 4 quadrants. So this quadrant is for positive evaluation. This quadrant is for supportive evaluation. This again is for positive evaluations, and this again is for, this is for summary. So there are two ways that you can go about it. You can do a 2C, or sorry, 2 positive, 2 supportive, 2 positive, and then summary, which is what we call the CRC method: commendation, recommendation, commendation. So you give your 2 positive feedback, move into the supportive feedback, come back to positive, and then transition to summary. When you're giving summary, I usually start with the next steps from the recommendations or the forward part of the recommendations, and then I talk about the impact from the commendations. Okay, and finally I end on an encouraging note. The other way, and which I see happening more these days, is that you have 3 commendations and 3 recommendations, 3 positive feedback and 3 supportive feedback. So in that case, you state your 3 commendations first, you transition to supportive, and then you move to summary. Making sense so far? Some of
DTM, I couldn't get
I'll have the questions at the end. So just write it down, because I might answer some of your questions in the next few slides. Otherwise, I'll just have the questions in the end. Okay, it's just about to come to an end. Trust me on this. 15 or more slides we are right now at. Okay, we are right now at slide number 13. So 2 more slides or 3 more slides. So some of the best practices that I have come up with over the 6 years that I have been in Toastmasters, joined in 2015. First of all, evaluate the role, not the role player. Now you might have some prejudice, you might have some sort of an opinion about the role player. Maybe that's a person you love very much or a person that you dislike very much. Do not let that come into your evaluation of the role player, of the role. Just evaluate the role. If you are evaluating the grammarian as a general evaluator, and you do not like the grammarian because she's a grammar Nazi, and she has this habit of calling out, in making sure that all I's are dotted and T's are crossed, don't let your frustration show. Just evaluate the role. That's it. Okay. Evaluate on the objectives, only on the objectives and nothing but the objectives. I call it the evaluation oath. I will evaluate on the objectives, only on the objectives and nothing but the objectives. Basically, my evaluation is based only on your performance that day. Now, I might be an international speech contest speaker, but if I give a horrible speech, doesn't mean that I get away with it. And somebody might be starting out in Toastmasters and they might give the best speech ever. Doesn't mean that you necessarily have to give them a recommendation. A simple encouragement that do better next time will suffice. Okay. Never ask a role player to repeat a role as part of their evaluation. I personally feel that you should never ask a person to repeat their speech as a speech evaluator, especially in Toastmasters, because understand we all come from different backgrounds. Not everyone has the benefit maybe of a public school education. Not everyone went to a convent school where they learnt their grammar through Wren and Martin. Some of us come from a vernacular medium, so may not be as conversant with the English language. Some of us might have some sort of a disorder. I have this person called Diana. She comes to my meeting. She is not able to speak. She just types out her table topics. And asking people to repeat their role to me is not being supportive and definitely not positive. Always encourage. Believe me, there have been days when people have, I know that people have not prepared the speeches. I still have to find a commendation from somewhere. because there were times when I missed out on speech objectives and people encouraged me always. I think I owe it to them to always encourage. And this is a bone of contention among many general evaluators. Please evaluate only the evaluators as a general evaluator. Do not evaluate speakers for two reasons. Number one, each speaker has their own dedicated speech evaluator. Let those dedicated speech evaluators do their job. If you want to ensure that they do their job correctly, be a leader before the meeting. Tell them this is what I am expecting from your evaluations. And if they deviate from that, you give them feedback. You do not give feedback to the speaker. Second reason is that if you are going to evaluate their speech, let's say that you decide to disregard my advice and you say that, okay, I am going to evaluate the speaker. Then why are you just evaluating the speech? Why not evaluate them on time? Why not evaluate them on their accounts? Why not evaluate them on their grammars? Wait a second, you have role players for that who do that, right? You have a timer, a counter grammarian who does just that. But then you also have a speech evaluator who's there for the speech evaluation. All you are doing is wasting time. You think you are not, but trust me, you are wasting time. I had a general evaluator who took 45 minutes for general evaluation. She evaluated everyone, from every person in the room to the security guard outside. And this was a physical meeting in a community club, and they were paying by the hour. And that day they had to pay an extra 1,000 rupees just because the evaluator thought that she was giving value. You're not. Just stick to evaluating only the evaluators. Well, you're always there. I always like to say that WTF. Now, before you think that is something vulgar, it means that we take feedback. We take feedback, whether you say what a wonderful session, whether you say what was that, or whether you say that was horrible. So long as you are supportive and positive. And when you are positive, you tell what value did you receive. And when you're supportive, you tell what value can you provide. And you follow the opinion, example, impact, and incorporate a forward in case of giving supportive feedback. And you summarized well. Last but not least, remember the best practices. That was it from my side. I am now happy to take questions. Devashish, you had a question. If it is not answered, feel free to ask a question.
Thank you, DTM, for such an insightful presentation. So I have one question that you mentioned that in the fourth box, there is one thing that next steps from recommendation. So what is that? So how should we move forward with that? And what is actually that? What comes under that in that section?
Okay, I'm just sharing it once again. So going back. Now, see, next steps from recommendations is basically the forward part. What is the way forward? So for example, if you told the speaker that position your light at a 45-degree angle or let the light fall on your face, then the next step can be as simple as let the light fall on your face or maintain eye contact with the camera. Making sense? Devashish, thank you. Anyone, any other question?
I have a question.
Hmm?
If it seems as though there are absolutely no points where I can give a commendation, or if it seems as though I don't have any points to provide recommendations, what should be my approach?
If you don't have recommendations, I have a stock recommendation just in case I do not have recommendations. I always tell them that let your next speech or your next performance be better than this one. Let this not be your best speech. Let this not be your best role. So I always have that stock recommendation. As far as if I don't have commendation, then that person made the effort to come to the stage. That person cast aside all of their fears and decided to face the audience, knowing that they would underperform, knowing that they would not be able to perform well. And for me, that is a commendation enough. How that makes sense.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Any other questions? Going once? Going twice?
Just one question. How to manage time?
Very good question. So if you follow the 2C, 2R, 2C summary report, you should be finishing your evaluation somewhere around the 3-minute 15-second mark, or even the 3C, 3R summary report. Do not try to incorporate an extra commendation or a recommendation. I tried that and I got disqualified on time in the district contest. So do not do that. But if you can incorporate, if you follow 2C, 2R, 2C, 2R, 2C summary, or 3C, 3R summary approach, you should finish somewhere around 3 minutes, 15-second mark. Just make sure that you write it down in order. All of your commendations are written with observation, opinion, example, and impact. Your recommendations are written with opinion, example, impact, and the way forward. Try not making each of them more than 15 words in length.
Got it.
Okay. Any other questions? The key point is to resist the temptation to go in for another recommendation. You think you can, but trust me, you cannot, because the green, yellow, red cards, they come up sooner than you expect. We have this mental block that when the green card comes up, we try to think that, okay, I've got 1 more minute to go. Actually, you've got 30 more seconds to go before the yellow card comes up. And then you've got 30 more seconds to go before the red card comes up. And then you've got just 30 seconds more. So go into your recommendations well before the green card comes up. You should be wrapping up your recommendations by the time red card is coming up, and use the red card time for your summary. That is how I would suggest. Okay. If there are no further questions, once again, going once, twice, and sold, I hand it back to Rolly. Thank you.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh. I have heard some of these points from you earlier, but I'm so grateful that I got this chance to revise these points, and I got much more out of this. So I can safely say that learning never stops, especially under distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh's shadow. I'd like to now go ahead and start with the mock evaluation speech contest. Jim, thank you so much for being here. If you'd like to participate in the mock evaluation contest, you're most welcome to stay. So would you like to unmute and let me know?
I'll spectate.
You'll spectate. Okay, that's fair enough. So we'll just be ensuring that one, I will play a video, and I hope that I will be able to manage the sound aspect of it, because I've never really done that before. So tips are most welcome for that as well. Once I have played that video, I will set a timer for 5 minutes, which is when all the contestants will note down their observations. Like distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh already suggested, just divide your paper into 4 and then go ahead with it. I'm not going to make it as strict as it would be during the contest in terms of show me your blank paper, make sure that there is nothing written here or anything like that, and make sure that your hands are folded and you're not doing anything that you're not supposed to do. And I do want all the people who want to participate in this mock contest to let me know one of the choices. Either only the first contestant will stay in the room and the rest will be moved to the breakout room, and they'll be brought in the sequence in which the order is generated. And then we'll be able to hear whatever each one has to evaluate and whatever each one has taken out of the training today. Or everyone stays in the room and they deliver their evaluation just the way they had intended, being sincere to themselves and making sure that even if they are taking something from another evaluator who has gone ahead prior to them, they are honest about it and they just go ahead and maybe mention it at the end of their evaluation, just so that they also know where they stand. It is not going to be a contest where we will be evaluating, or rather judging the contestants. So it really doesn't matter whether you do or do not take the points from anyone else. So what would you prefer? That I send the others except for the first one to the breakout room, or everyone stays in the room and gets the benefit of listening to everyone? And we will have distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh provide feedback to each of the contestants as to what they did very well and what they could improve in their evaluation.
I think
Roli-
we should send the
Yeah.
remaining contestants in the breakout room.
Sure.
Yeah, I would also suggest the same.
All right. Karthik, I need your host access.
Okay, giving you the host access. Give
Thank
me
you.
few seconds.
Sure.
Which device? The same in
Where you can see
video.
the video. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
Host
you,
access.
Karthik. Yes. Thank you so much. Now I am going to, so I have the names of these people. Please let me know if I missed anyone's name or anyone's name appears in this list, but they don't want to contest. Okay. I am including the guests because I think it's a good idea to just try it out once. It gives a very heady feeling to do it once at least. Everyone can see my screen? So the names are Karthik, Devashish, Distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta, Shatakshi, Eddie Peng, and Yash Chen. I hope each one of you would like to
Jim.
contest.
What about Jim?
Jim said that he would not want to participate. He wants to watch. I would have loved it if he would participate though, but it's okay. Okay, Shatakshi and Yash, I hope you are willing to participate. I've got your names down.
Yes, I am willing to participate.
Excellent. Yash, would you also like to participate?
Yeah, I would like to try.
Great. Then I would request both of you to please switch on your videos. And you will need to keep your videos on all the time until the contest ends. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
In my lab, there's no access of camera, so I'm sorry. I would like to try.
I'm not able to hear him clearly. Can somebody tell me what he's saying? I think he said something about his camera, but I couldn't make out what he's saying.
I guess he said he can't switch on the camera.
Okay. All right. Yash, I'm going to make an exception in your case, but I just want everyone else to know that in a real contest, this would not have been allowed. Okay. But since this is a mock contest and the intent is to see how we are able to evaluate, I'm going to let that go. And now I'm going to click on the randomize. Okay. So this is the order in which we shall have the contestants. Shatakshi, I know that it must have been a little while since you have contested, maybe. Jim, you are not shy. You are excellent. Please, would you like to participate? I'm happy to redo the randomization. No? No. Okay. All right. Okay. So this is the order. I will let Shatakshi remain in the room. And
Roli, I have one question.
yes, please.
We would need to switch off our background, right? The background should be.
When you are actually delivering the evaluation, or even when you are sent to the breakout room, you have to switch off your virtual background. But I'm not going to insist again on that right now, so you can be comfortable.
Do we need to stand and deliver our evaluation?
That's entirely up to you.
Okay.
So some of the contest chairs might say that whatever is decided will be practiced for all of the contestants. But I've also seen contest chairs take the decision with the chief judge's permission to have each contestant choose individually. So it's entirely up to you right now. Okay, but be prepared that when you're in a real contest, you may have to stand and deliver or sit and deliver if that is what is decided. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know why. So I don't see Eddie. Eddie is not there in the room anymore, right?
Yeah, he left a few minutes back.
Oh, okay. All right. You should be getting the message to join the breakout rooms. Please join. Oh,
Excuse me, ma'am.
yeah. I just wanted to check. So I hope you're back again. Is that correct? No.
Myself, yes, ma'am. I'm here, yes. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
I'm new to the Toastmaster, so I don't know what should be done. So can I view for this?
Yes, yes, sure. You can see how it is done this time. You don't need to really participate if you're not comfortable.
Yeah, sure, thank you.
I have a question related to this.
Yes, Shatakshi.
Okay, so you probably know my journey. I think I just joined very first time that day, and then I was busy with some work. And I today again it is just break it till you make it philosophy that I haven't tried it and I want to try it. So I just wanted to know that it is the simply the procedure would be that I would be listening to a speech and I need to evaluate just like DTM Rupinder Singh explained us or had this very presentation done, right? This is what
Right.
I'm assuming to do in the
Correct.
given time limit of 3 minutes.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Thank you so
So
much.
all evaluations are 2 to 3 minutes. So the minimum time that you need to speak for during an evaluation is 1.5 minutes to be qualified. And if the maximum time that you can go up to is 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Okay. So 30 seconds grace, upper and lower limits applied. And You would have seen one of the speech evaluations, right? In one of the past meetings, I think you were there. So just try to recall that, and we can go ahead with it. Okay. In this case, whether you go first or second, it really won't matter because you won't really be able to see anyone else's evaluation. So that's why I did not even change your order. Okay. All right. So now that we've tested the breakout room, now I'm going to try and can anyone tell me, like, if I just do a share screen and switch on the video on YouTube, is that all that I need to do in order to share the
You need
audio
to
and video?
share computer sound.
You need to share the sound and the video also.
Sound and the video.
Okay.
Test it with a different video first, make sure it works.
Sure. So I hope you can see. Are you able to see it? The video?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
just going to start
Not-
playing. I'm just going to play it for like 5 seconds, just so that you can ensure that you are able to hear the sound. Okay? Were you able to hear it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Pens in hand, everyone.
How many of you heard the story of woodcutter who had cut the branch of tree on which he was sitting? Can I see hands? Okay. Now tell me, how many of you are engineers here? Rest of the people just see our pretending happy faces. Here are those woodcutters who cut the happiness of branch. According to the survey of UNESCO, they said India is a country where people first become engineers and then they decide what they want to do in their life. 60% of engineering graduates are choose the different field from engineering. Those who are working in engineering are not happy with their job. Contest chair, Herodos master and guest. I use this reference even though I just met them up to convince the parents who want their children to become an engineer. And guess what? They got convinced. They want their children to become a doctor. Now it is very pathetic. Same career dilemma happened to me when I was in my last year of engineering. Now what to do after engineering? Every day, 2-3 ideas coming in my mind. Like to become a politician, to become a YouTuber, even to become a doctor. And I was flushing those dumb ideas down and down. It was like a career dysentery. Now I have to find a solution for that. So I first visited to my brother. My brother is a very caring, very helpful in nature, and very witty. I told him about my career dysentery. He heard only dysentery. And he suggested me to wear a red underwear. Is there any logic behind that? He said, yeah, it is very logical. Explain me how. He said, if red flag can stop this long train, then red underwear will definitely stop your dysentery. It was too witty. Now I have to go to my parents. I went to my dad. Now my dad is very calm and composed guy. 50-year-old young man. I told him that I want to start preparing for UPSC. And he was like, son is speaking some sensitivity to him. He immediately called my mother, and both were there like this. I was frustrated that time. But after some time, they pampered me and told me that Tushar, your nature is like pendulum. At one point, you think this, and other point, you think that. No firm decision making quality in you. After that, my confidence get low. Then I find the only ray of hope. Charas Baba! Now Charas Baba is my super duper senior. When I was in first year, he was in third year. When I was in third year, he also in third year. When I was in last year, he had completed his engineering. Now I have to visit him. I entered his flat, full of dark, lots of smoke there, and brass was playing in background. I entered his room, and there he was, Charas Baba. He was relaxing on his couch. In one hand, he has beer, and in other hand, he having cigar. He suddenly saw me and said, "Hey, Nawazuddin, come here." Yes, he calls me Nawazuddin. He think that Nawazuddin Siddiqui and I look same like him. Then I told him about my career recently. That time he made a good reference of Mahabharata and told me the story of that. He said there are two kind of people in this world. One like Eklavya and other people are like Arjun. The people who are like Arjun, they always ask questions to their peer group. As Arjun used to ask questions to Krishna. Like what to do, when to do, how to do, why to do. These people are potentially occupied, but they are self-reliant. They are not self-reliant. They rely on some other. But there are other group of people who are like Eklavya. No guidance, no teacher. They learn and take the experience from their life and master the art of life. In our life, this kind of situation will definitely come. So at that time, you have to make the decision. At that time, you should be firm on your decision. In my case, what happened? My dad told me to be a firm at your decision. The Baba told me, be self-confident, believe in yourself. Guess this kind will happen in everyone's life. So as precaution is better than cure. So we should be prepared for all these kind of situations by wearing red. Thank you so much.
Now we'll maintain 5
Really, are you going to send us to the breakout
No,
room?
first the 5 minutes here,
Okay.
and then I'll send you. Jim, I believe 5 minutes are over, right? Yes, thank you. All right, everyone, I request you to stop writing now. Karthik, Devashish, please switch your video back on. Thank you. And now I'm going to open the breakout rooms, and like we discussed, so Yash will not be going into the breakout room. The contest will be only amongst Shatakshi, Devashish, Rajsa, and Karthik. Okay, so Shatakshi will stay in the room. And Devashish and Rajsa and Karthik, you would have received the all the best. Shatakshi, you're able to see Jim's screen, right?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay. So I am also going to spotlight you and Jim so that both of you are visible. And now we will. Okay. So
Question.
Yes, please.
Do I evaluate Shatakshi after she does her evaluation, or
No, all together, I think
all
that would be
together?
better.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. But I will be giving you that 1 minute of time so that you can make your notes for after each evaluation. Yeah.
I have a question.
Sure. Please go ahead.
Okay, so I'll be treating as if I am talking to that particular contestant. Will that be fine?
That is perfectly fine. Some evaluators also make it a practice to just say our target speaker or the target speaker. That also is a viable reference to be used. So you can choose the one that you like, whatever comes naturally to you. Okay. Okay. So we'll begin now. Yeah. So I'll just invite you, and I'll invite you by saying contestant Shatakshi Mishra, contestant number one, Shatakshi Mishra. When I finish saying Shatakshi Mishra at the end, that's when your timer will start. Okay. And just note that at 2 minutes, Jim's screen will turn green. Okay. At 2 minutes and 30 seconds, it will change to yellow. And at 3 minutes, it will change to red. And after that, you will have only 30 seconds without any indication to wrap up your evaluation. There will be no indication that you have gone beyond 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Okay. So just watch out for that. Yeah. Okay. Let's invite on stage Shatakshi Mishra, contestant number one. Shatakshi, I need you to unmute yourself and be ready. Yeah. You want to say something?
No, that's fine. I can start.
No. So let's invite on stage Shatakshi Mishra, contestant number one. Contestant number one, Shatakshi Mishra.
So, thank you, DTM Rolisana. So I'll be now evaluating contestant number one. So thank you very much for such an insightful speech, which was actually stewed with humor, I would say. I really liked the analogies you put forward, like your analogy with a woodcutter, the engineers, comparing engineers with a woodcutter, and then the pendulum analogy also comparing the characters of Mahabharatas like Arjun and others with our real life. So yeah, I like it. The second point I would come is about your expressions. The facial expressions you put forth really had our attention. You talked about the voice modulation. Your voice modulation was really good. The voice modulation you tried while describing the dysentery part was really humorous. At the same time, made us feel the state of your the mental frustration you undergo while choosing the different kind of professions. So yeah, apart from this, what I would like to say is while talking, you were moving continuously, right? Just like you used the pendulum analogy, you were always moving. You were like a tinge of pendulum inside you. So I would just request that while we are talking, you were speaking so well, and we have to track your movement and at the same time listen to you. So we had to work our eyes and ears at the same time. So I would just request that you can try to create a periphery inside your mind while speaking, so that you move, but you don't take a long treads, because it can sometimes be distractive. At the same time, I would like to say that hand expressions could be minimized to a certain limit. Just the reason could be, of course, distraction at the end. You could try some kind of mirror speaking, and yeah, practicing makes a man perfect. So I really enjoyed. Thank you for making my day with your humorous insights. I would like to wrap up. Keep doing well. All the very best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shatakshi. Now we'll maintain 1 minute silence.
So should I start?
No, Devashish, you'll have to wait. I'll let you know. Thank you, Jim, for that 1 minute indicator. Okay. Devish,
Can I know the name of the speaker, because I couldn't record that at that time, if it is available?
Tushar.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay. Devashish, I am going to put you on spotlight. Okay. And Jim is our timer.
Okay. Okay.
So as you know, the evaluation is supposed to be for 2 to 3 minutes. Jim's screen will turn to green at 2 minutes. At 2 minutes 30 seconds, he'll go to yellow. And at 3 minutes, he will go to the red card. There will be no indication that you have exceeded time. You'll have only 30 seconds after the 3 minutes or when the red card has been displayed to wrap up your speech. So you have to be careful about that. Okay. This is the way I'm going to invite you to stage. Devashish Pandey, contestant number 2. Contestant number 2, Devashish Pandey. Okay. When I finish the second Devashish Pandey, that's when your timer will start. Okay. So you're ready now?
Yeah.
Great. And after your evaluation is completed, we'll be maintaining 1 minute of silence. Okay. Thank you. Let's welcome Devashish Pandey, contestant number 2. Contestant number 2, Devashish Pandey.
Thank you, Toastmaster Roli. So today, Toastmaster Tushar delivered his humorous speech on the topic red underwear. Starting with the evaluation, his topic was really relatable, and being a having a humorous topic, we should always have some relatable topic because we are all being able to relate, and we all can imagine that what is going on in that scenarios. So the topic should be relatable, which actually the speaker maintained. He was very humorous, and being humorous comes when you're humorous, you should be you should catch the attention of the audience, which he was successful in doing. So it is a very difficult task, and when you catch hold of the attention of the audience, that is when you get confident when you are humorous, because if people are not actually responding to you, you don't feel confident that you're being able to make the audience laugh. So it was a great move by the speaker, by his actions and gestures. He used the golden quadrilateral of speaking. So that is a very well planned stage uh, stage activity that had been set up by some of the eminent personalities, and it is actually very good to use that, because when you use that, you are being able to actually show your gestures, your movements, and you are being able to show actually show the scenarios of how well scenarios through your movements, uh, as well as your actions, and not your own people not only focus on your words but also on your actions. So there you catch hold of the attention much more when you use the golden quadrilateral. So that was used well. Coming to some of the challenges, I think that language could be a little better. It was already good. When you're using when you are being humorous, you need to be your language should be relatable, but a little bit of better language would have added more attention to the people, and people would have learned more, the audience would have learned more. And when you're using some Hindi phrase like charas baba or something, you could explain a little more, because it could have added much more detailing to that, and people who don't know Hindi could also relate to it. Overall, the gestures were completely in sync with the expressions and the scenarios that the speaker was explaining, and the speaker was really interactive with the audience. Finally, summarizing, overall, the speech was really interactive and very well presented, and the audience could actually relate to it. I could see others' faces also, and people were actually interested in hearing the speaker. The topic of engineering was really good, and actually, we could all relate to it. We could all imagine what was going on behind. Language could be a little better, as I said, but overall, I could really laugh and enjoy the speaker's speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Devashish. Now we'll maintain 1 minute of silence. Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jim. Now I would like to. So, distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta, the timer will be Toastmaster Jim. So you can watch his screen. He'll be showing the green card at 2 minutes. In 2 minutes 30 seconds, he'll switch to yellow. And at 3 minutes, he will switch to the red card. After which you'll have 30 seconds to wrap up your speech, and there'll be no indication given for exceeding time. So you'll have to manage that on your own. I will be inviting you to the stage by calling out your name and a contestant number. That is Raj Mehta, contestant number 3. Contestant number 3, Raj Mehta. And once I finish the name for the second time, that's when your timing will start. Okay. Would you like to just say a couple of words so that I can ensure that your audio is perfect?
Hello, everyone. I suppose I'm audible.
Yes, you are very clearly audible. Thank you so much. So let's welcome on stage Raj Mehta, contestant number 3. Contestant number 3, Raj Mehta.
How many of you have seen that woodcutter who was cutting the wood or the branch on which he himself is sitting? At that moment, I just thought that today I'm going to hear a story with a moral. But the next moment, lo and behold, he said, we all are engineers like woodcutters. And the burst of laughter. Then a point occurred to me that today it is not the day of moral listening or knowledge. It is a day of laughter. And right then, from that moment onwards, I could not stop myself laughing. Every moment he was telling his story of going to his brother and his parents, and that Charas Baba for taking advice. And every time he got the advice, it was full of laughter. His brother giving the advice of using underwear because he misunderstood the carried dysentery with something else. Similarly, Charas Baba calling him, hey, Nawazuddin, come here. So there was clear vocal variety, there was clear uh, pitch and ups and downs in the voice, which was good enough to distinguish different characters which the story had. Coming on to the recommendations, I would say that the speaker was moving too fast from one side of the room to the other side of the room. I would advise him to do a structured movement, like opening the speech in the middle, then giving the next point from one side of this stage, then moving on to the next side of the stage for the next point, and then moving back and making the final point of the speech. And also, I felt that whenever there was a point of laughter, he should have given a little extra pause, because while the people were laughing, he was continuing with his speech. All in all, it was a great speech. I still remember the incidents when he was telling the story about Arjuna and Eklavya, and when Arjuna is asking Lord Krishna, like what to do, how to do, where to do. It was every moment, every point, there was a laughter. I could not stop myself. It was a great speech, great entertainment, and with a point or message that you have to decide about yourself, and just take the life as it comes to you. A great speech, a great entertaining speech, and I liked every point of it. Just a few points of recommendation, if the speaker would work on this, that is to move on the stage in a structured way, and giving a bit extra pause for the audience to laugh fully. That speech will go to a higher level. Thank you very much. Over to the contestants.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta. Now we'll maintain 1 minute of silence. Thank you, Toastmaster Jim. Hello, Karthik.
Hello.
Karthik, Toastmaster Jim is helping us with the timing. Okay, so at 2 minutes, he will switch the screen to green. At 2.5 minutes, it will switch to yellow. And at 3 minutes, it will switch to red, after which you'll have 30 seconds to wrap up your speech. There'll be no indication given for any if you exceed any of the time limits. And I'll be calling you by your name and then contestant number, followed by contestant number and your name. Okay, when I finish your name the second time, Karthik Mishra, when I finish with it, that's when you have to start speaking. So it will be Karthik Mishra, four, contestant number four, Karthik Mishra. Okay, so that's when you have to start speaking, and that's when your timing will begin. Okay, all the best. Let's welcome on. Karthik, can you just say something so that I can confirm your audio?
I'm audible.
Yes, you are audible. Shatakshi, you don't need to join the breakout room now. I've closed all the breakout rooms. Our last contestant is in the room. Okay. Let's welcome on stage Karthik Mishra, contestant number four. Contestant number four, Karthik Mishra.
Thank you. Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster President Roli Sinha. Speaker Tushar Ravekar on his speech read and aware, quite a wonderful speech. The speech started well with a full energy and enthusiasm, and the stage presence was and quite observable, and stage is covered quite well. Usage of stage was quite well. Like in given the example of engineers, that engineers are multitaskers and they choose the different path altogether. One recommendation is that he use given an example of his senior Charas Baba, which can be denoted as a cannabis monk, and that's it. And later part of the speech can be more given with more energy, like the starting of the speech. The speech was very much enjoyable. I was looking the speech from the sideways. I should be observe speech from the by sitting on observing and sitting on the middle part of front row. That's it from my end. Everything was amazing. He just need to take care of usage of non-English words. That's it from my end. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Karthik. We'll maintain 2 minutes of silence for distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh to compile his notes.
think 1 minute, I think our 2 minutes are up.
Yes, 2 minutes are up. If you are ready with your
I'm ready.
observations,
I'm
great.
ready.
Thank you. I'm just going to. Okay, so initially in the agenda, we had noted 8 minutes. Sorry, no, 15 minutes as the duration for the feedback. Would you need that much of time, or
No, no, no.
okay? How
Not
much
more
time would you
than
like to?
maximum 5 minutes. I think I'll finish in 3 or 3.5 minutes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so maybe we can have 3, 4, and 6 as the
3, 4, 5. Yeah.
3, 4,
3, 4, 5.
5. Okay,
Yeah.
3, 4, 5. Jim, is that okay with you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Roli, can
Yeah.
we wait for a few minutes because Shatakshi by mistake left the meeting, so she is joining back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So while we are waiting for Shatakshi to join, I just had this observation that typically when the breakout rooms are being closed and the last contestant is being invited back to the main room, we tell the sergeant at arms also to come back. And in this case, our sergeant at arms and the last contestant were Karthik. So I found that
Awesome.
cute.
Mm.
Little tiny pleasures of life. Were you able to get in touch with Shatakshi, Devashish?
Yes, yes. I have texted her the link again to join.
Okay.
But how about continuing with the next participant and
Yeah.
giving her the evaluation at last?
Yeah, I think that might be better because you're kind of losing time then.
Okay, I've moved Shatakshi to the last.
Right.
So I will start with Devashish. Devashish, what I liked about your evaluation was the summary that you gave. And you actually said the words summarizing. Now, the thing is that it is important to say that word because you get 15 marks for summary when you give your evaluation in an evaluation speech contest. And unfortunately, some of our judges, a majority of our judges, they actually look for that word, summarizing. Even though they might have been instructed to catch on verbal cues that the person has started summarizing. So I think that was an excellent choice there. What I would suggest to you also is to clearly demarcate the commendations and the recommendations part. So it could be, let me tell you what I absolutely liked. Now let's move on to what can improve. And then you say summarizing. So that is one suggestion. I have some generic suggestions. I'll come back to those later. Raj Mehta, that was an excellent opening. That's how you should open, starting with the highlight of the speech, what you absolutely like. And it was replete with examples. I saw that in one of the recommendations, you moved from the opinion to the way forward. Kind of missed out on the example and the impact. I would strongly advise that practice the 2C, 2R, 2R, 2C or summary method or the 3C, 3R summary method. And here's what I do. I watch speeches on YouTube and then I simulate myself in a 2 to 3 minute environment. where I try practicing this model. So do that. One more advice to everyone, look at a world championship speech, try finding recommendations in there. You'll see your recommendations improving. And then try to see example of a speech that is not good enough, and then try to find commendations in that. You will see that your commendations are improving. Uh, Karthik, I must commend you for trying to follow the structure. I could see that you were struggling, but you tried to follow the structure as much as possible. And all I want to tell you is that you will not get it the first time. It is not something that is, it sounds very simple, but it takes practice. Once again, just keep practicing and you should be okay. And ending with our first speaker. Shatakshi, what you want to do is when you open, you want to talk about the thing that you absolutely liked. I saw that you started by thanking the club president. In an evaluation, what will happen is that it will be seen as, in an evaluation contest, it will be seen as an attempt to while away time. So no need to say that I am Shatakshi and I'm evaluator number one and this and that. Okay. Generically speaking, some of the opinions did follow the some of the positive feedback did follow the observation, example, and impact in varying degrees. Sometimes I saw the observation and then I saw the impact. Sometimes the examples were missing. What I did see in the case of a couple of evaluators was that instead of examples, you were giving explanations. So it was like, I saw that you use the stage, and that is a very good way of using the stage. Once again, it is an explanation. You're just trying to explain your opinion. I would rather that you give an example at that point. I saw good usage of the stage. I saw you moving closer to the audience when you were trying to get across a message, things like that, and that would have helped. The other thing that I would recommend everyone to do is to practice getting the positive and the supportive feedback right. Follow that structure. After that, all you have to do is add transitions. Once you do that, your evaluation skills will improve. It was an honor evaluating you all. Thank you so very much. Back to you, Rolly.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh. That was an master evaluation in demo. I really liked why you proposed the policy of having observation, example, impact, and then way forward as the structure to be adopted during evaluation, because you also demonstrated how useful it can be and how supportive it can sound. So thank you so much for doing that for us. A huge round of applause for distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh, our guest Jim Vaughn, who made this mock contest possible. And this would not have been possible if our brilliant contestants had not had the courage to come forward and participate. Especially want to recognize Shatakshi for stepping onto the contest stage after so many years of absence from Toastmasters. And I'm so glad that you took this call and you performed very well. Thank you so much. I'd like to just quickly so just give me one moment. So if everyone can join me in thanking Shatakshi for and appreciating her for participating in the mock contest today.
Also
And they
spotlighting the person and not me.
I'm so sorry. Okay, so let me go back. Thank you, Shatakshi. That took a lot of courage, and I learned a lot from you today. Thank you so much for doing that. And Devashish, thank you so much for participating. It was a delight to hear your evaluation. One of the best openings ever to an evaluation. Thank you so much for doing that. Your enthusiasm and the fact that you decided to stand and deliver made a lot of difference. Thank you. And last but not the least, definitely, Karthik, brilliant effort. I'm very proud of you. I really like the observations that you had made and all of the concentration that you applied to make sure that everything comes in the order that you have just been told to stick to. Very well done. Thank you so much. And a huge round of appreciation and applause for our Chief Judge, so to speak, Chief Judge, and the Module Master, Distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I'll have to take your leave because I've got another meeting pending. Thank
Sure.
you so very much for having me tonight. Bye-bye,
Thank
everyone.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care. And your contest chair and Jim, thank you so much for stepping in as a timer. I was actually dreading how many different things I would have to do at the same time, and you took the major work off my hands. Thank you so much for being here. I'm actually still torn between my disappointment at not hearing your evaluation because believe me, everyone, I've heard him evaluate and he does it so very well. So I'm really torn between that disappointment and that gratitude that I feel for you for having taken up the timer role. Thank you so much for doing that for us today. All right. Now we can probably take feedback from everyone. Okay. Jim, why don't you let us know if any of your expectations were met and what you would like us to improve upon?
Just one observation is the video chosen for the test speech. I found it quite hard to hear the words.
Oh, okay.
The audio, and also the video was taken vertically.
Right.
Which doesn't help the contestants. If it was a wide screen, you can see more and the movements
Yes,
more.
I agree.
But the audio was really the thing because I couldn't hear too much of it. I would have had real troubles.
Right.
And I was thinking to myself, he's not speaking in English. Yes, or some of the words were not in English. And
yeah, some of the words were not in English. Yeah.
That must be it.
Yeah, it was actually pointed out during the evaluation. I mean, of course, when this speaker had delivered the speech, it was an online meeting and there was no need for him to translate it into English because there weren't any non-English speakers, I mean, non-Hindi speakers in the room at that time. But I actually struggled to find a video which other people would not have seen. If I had just picked up anything off YouTube, there was a very good chance that I would pick up some speech which had already been seen by most of the people. So I tried to take out something which I had a link to, and it was very unlikely. I mean, I did feel that maybe Raj sir would have seen it, but I think
But
he
it was
had.
good, and the way you did the contest, I think, was very believable. The way you introduced the speakers, and then you had them test the mic, all that. That's all very good.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I hope that you'll visit us again. We meet every Friday at this time, 6:45 p.m. IST. So anytime you'd like to visit or deliver a speech or a module or take up any other role, we'd be very happy and honored. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll leave my email and then you can send me the link. I think it's my first time here, is it?
Yes, it
Delhi.
is your first time in this club. Yes, that's correct. Devashish, maybe you can just make a note of the email address. Yeah. All right. Oh, yeah. I remember this. We do have. Yeah. Thank you. That's a good reminder. Okay. Shatakshi, how was your experience?
Okay, so it was a very first experience. Like, I have joined in just once, and then I was busy. So I joined. I got to join today, and this whole competition was going on. And then I thought that yes, the right way to just get over your fear is to face it, and that's the only reason I stepped in. And I really learned in a lot, and I'm hoping forward to improve every day. That's what I can say.
Thank you, Shatakshi. I remember your table topic speech. It was also on similar lines when you had said that we should face our fears instead of taking the road to fly instead of fight. And today you've demonstrated it. I cannot express how proud and inspired I am. It's a very small thing. I mean, you didn't need to do it, right? But the fact that you did not back out and say, "Oh, I haven't done it for ages. I don't know how evaluations are done." It
Um,
really inspired me. Thank you so
Well,
much.
actually, you have been the inspiration for me, I would say rather, because the way you speak, the things feel like a cakewalk. Like it feels like, okay, it's nothing. It's just you have to sit and evaluate. So it's an easy thing. So you can do it. You can at least give it a try. So I would say, like, every credit and everything goes to you. So thank you for being like the tying string of a rosary bead.
Oh,
So yeah,
wow.
thank you for being that.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you. Raj sir, may I get to hear from you? How was your experience?
Uh, okay, let me be truthful today. I didn't enjoy myself
Okay.
because one thing is that I think that speech was not totally understandable. Some of the words were not clear because it was a video recording. And secondly, I also felt that I was not in my true colors. I was not able to give the evaluation which I wanted to give. While coming to the conclusion, I was not sure what I wanted to say. And similarly, while recommendations, I messed up with them. So I think that today it was not my day. In my opinion, maybe in others' opinion, it was a good day for me.
Yes, I can understand that because we always like to compare ourselves with what we want to be, not just what we have been capable of doing in the past. But I think that this can also serve as a very good um, learning ground for you. That if you do come across a particular speech which you're not able to really relate to very well, or you're not able to hear very well, what is it that you can do in that situation? Because I've seen this happen, at least in District 41 at times, that one person was not able to hear the table topic title very clearly, and the entire contest was redone. But in other cases, three, four of the contestants were not able to hear the topic that was narrated very clearly, and yet they were still compelled to speak on that topic, whatever their understanding was. So, I mean, and that's very similar to the evaluation speech, like, because you have no control over what the test speaker is going to talk about or how their audio and video is going to be like, and parts of it may not be redone. It's an online environment. The test speaker himself or herself might log out of the meeting because of a network connection going bad. And what do we do at that time? No, so I think it will still, like, you have a lot of experience, and I'm sure that you hold yourself to very high standards for yourself. But this just gives you a chance to explore possibilities. Like, for example, that question that I had asked distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh, that what would you do if, if I just can't find any recommendations or commendations, then what do I do at that point? And I'm like participating in a contest, I better say something in both categories. So he has a stock commendation and recommendation. Perhaps that's something that each one of us needs to anticipate and develop for ourselves. And I'm very glad that you came, because at least by your evaluation, others would have also learned. And I know Karthik wouldn't have been able to see your evaluation, but I'm sure that he'll go back and take a look at the recording and then
In fact,
figure out.
I have to deliver module tomorrow at in an institute in Bangalore, and one keynote address at 11 p.m. tomorrow. And I'm not got these things ready, but in spite of that, I'm attending this meeting. So I shall be working throughout the night for all those things. That
I
module
really
and
admire
keynote
you.
address.
All the best for it, and I hope that you do get a good good 8 hours of sleep, because I have realized that usually those hours of sleep work better for us than all the preparation that we do. Yeah. But I hope that, and Devashish and Karthik, would you like to share anything about your experience or anything that you still want to ask?
I would just like to share that I should attend more meetings because my vocabulary is really getting bad because I don't attend meetings and I'm not speaking English anywhere else. So actually, I should attend more meetings. Apart from that, our host was really good. That is you. And you did really great, really a great job. And actually, we should actually learn a lot from you. The only evaluation that was not done was on you because you are the host. So actually, I should talk about you. And you were really great. And thank you for always being up there and hosting such wonderful sessions for us, apart from being the president of the club.
I'm
Thank
so glad that Jatin is not here. There is this particular word that he uses by the time he gets to this point. But anyway, Karthik, would you like to say thank you so much, Devashish, for that? And Karthik,
Glad
any?
to attend today's meeting.
Yes, it's been a
And
while for you also. I hope you're feeling better now.
yeah, different kind of things experience happening in health
Yeah,
wise.
I know. I know. It's really a
And
challenge.
today's 16 cell phone, I will definitely practice for the real contest.
Absolutely.
So when is your contest? KT
Uh,
and
we
evaluation.
are planning it on the 5th of November. Yeah. I did want to point out one thing uh, to all of you that okay, okay, okay. I just wanted to point out that in the contest, okay, there will be two role players. One is the contest chair who organizes the entire contest, gets all the role players and the chief judge and all. And then there will be a contest master. Okay. Sometimes the contest chair and the contest master are the same person, but if there is a contest master who is actually conducting the contest, then you need to note. And sometimes we just like assume it will be the contest chair only who will be conducting the contest. Whoever it is, whether it's the contest chair or the contest master, when you're acknowledging the person or you're thanking the person for giving you the opportunity to contest, please just say contest chair or contest master. as the case may be. Don't take any names, don't take any designations like DTM or president or roles, because you'd never know. It could be your division director or another district director coming in as your contest chair or contest master. And I, of course, wish that you go to the higher levels, and there we won't even know anybody most likely, which is a good thing. But just make sure that you use the term contest chair or contest master, and just proceed. You don't even have to say like thank you or anything like that. And once you finish, right? So at that point, do say contest chair or contest master, and that's it. You don't have to say, that's it, I don't have anything else to say, or thank you, or it was nice to evaluate, or anything, because again, you don't know how far ahead you've gone beyond the 3 minutes. Okay, so just like when you're done with your evaluation, just say, or your table topic, just say contest master or contest chair. Yes, that is all that I wanted to say. Thank you so much. So we can
have the
conclude.
selfie.
Ye-
You can
Yes,
have
please. Yes. Jim, we usually raise one finger because it's Delhi one Toastmasters. So the one is for that. So if you could just raise that.
one is for the number one Toastmaster club in Delhi.
Yeah.
Karthik,
You,
can you please?
Dilshad, you want to switch on your video and be a part of this pic?
Done.
Thank you.
I think Dilshad is not available.
Oh, now he's switched it on. Dilshad, can you just raise one finger? Yeah?
Yeah, one finger.
One
Yeah.
finger. Yes. Thank you.
Can I myself? Can I introduce myself?
Yes, let's just take the
Yes.
pic and then we can do that.
Done,
Devashish,
done.
yeah? Okay.
Okay.
Yes,
May I
Dilshad,
continue?
please do. Yes, please do. Please go ahead.
Myself Dilshad Akhtar. I am from Patna, Bihar, and I'm working in ADNOC in Abu Dhabi. And I want to improve my communication skills so I can this platform. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dilshad, for joining. And there are very good Toastmasters clubs even in the UAE if you'd like to join a club which is more in your own time zone. But I hope that the next time you join us, please join us at 6:45 p.m. Indian Standard Time, because that's when our meeting starts. I noticed that you were trying to connect while our meeting was going on, and you kept dropping. Maybe the network connection was not very good. But I hope that the next time you will be able to attend the entire meeting and we'll be able to hear your opinions even during the table topic segment. You're on mute, sir. Yes. No, you went back on mute. Okay. Um, I'm not sure if Dilshad is trying to say something. Um, but yeah, so maybe we can close the meeting now. Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. It was a pleasure to have heard all of your evaluations. You made my Friday. Thank you. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Raj sir, Shatakshi.
Thank you.
Thank
Ma'am.
you. Thank you, Dilshad. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Take care, Devashish and Karthik. Bye bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.